Thanks, Jenny. Okay, thank you, girls. Glad you guys are here. Just finishing up our decimals too. Let's take a look what we've got. So once again, we're working in the hundredths. So there's 100 little tiny squares inside this whole square here. So that's easy to tell because you have 10 here and 10 here, and 10 times 10 is 100. So we know right away that our denominator is going to be 100. And we now have to count all the little squares. And I'll give you a hint right now, it's just easier to count by tens, because if this whole line is shaded, that's a 10. So we've got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 71, 72, 73. So we've got 73 of our squares shaded, and that's how we would write it in a fraction. And then we'd write that in a decimal with our decimal point, 73. 73 hundredths looks like that. We have our 7 in our 10th spot and our 3 in our 100th spot, which shows 73. So let's take a look at this one. We have 100 as our denominator again, and I'm going to count by tens. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 81, 82. Wait, no, I think I'm off. 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76. Is that right? Let me look again. I might be wrong. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 86 was right. I was wrong. Wow. Okay, here we go. 86 out of 100. And then to write that in decimal form, you put your decimal point and then 86. You're filling in those two place values. Our ones place values over here, so you could put a 0 there, but in this case, you don't have to, and you've got 86. So let's take a look at this one. So we're still out of 100, and it looks like we only have 4 of them shaded. So that would be 4 out of 100, 4 hundredths. And written in the decimal form, you have to fill in the two place values. So this one right here is going to have a 0, and this one over here is going to be 4. Because it's not, if we wrote it like this, 4, just 0.4, that would be 4/10, which means we're shaded down to here, but we're not. We're only shading these to 4, and so that would be incorrect. We have to hold our place value with a 0. And that's the same thing over here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 out of 100 are shaded. So since we're in the hundredths, we have to fill in our place value with a 0 and then our 8. Do not forget this 0 or else you will get it wrong. Okay? Any questions there? Don't forget your 0. That's the most important part when you only have a few shaded. Okay, if there's no questions, I'm going to keep going. So looking at this one, now we're writing a whole number and a fraction and a whole number with our decimal. So we have 1, 2 of them are completely shaded, and then we have 10, 20, 30, 31, 32, 33. 33 out of 100, or 33 hundredths. And we would write it like this. We're filling in these 3 place values, so 2 wholes and 33 hundredths. So if you go back to the decimals vocabulary or any of the other decimal levels, we talked about these place values. So make sure you're filling them in correctly. Here's this one. We've got 1 whole, and then 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56. 56 hundredths. Oops. 56 hundredths. And that looks like this in a decimal form. 1 and 56 hundredths. Let's take a look at this one here. So we've got 2 completely shaded, so mark them off as you go. And then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 out of 100 are there. So written as a decimal, you have 2 and You have to hold that 0 there, 9 hundredths, because your 9 needs to be in the hundredths place value, which is after the tenths place value. Don't forget the 0. And let's finish off with this one. We've got 1, 2, 3 holes. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 out of 100 again. So not get into the tenths, but just to the hundredths. So we'll have 3 and 8 hundredths, like so. Do not forget the 0. If you get it wrong, then you will have to retry it, and don't make a simple mistake by forgetting your 0 there. Any questions as to how to do this?